Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to thank everyone for coming to the meeting. Do roll call. Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. Langley? Here. Mr. McDonald?
Here. Need a motion and a second for the approval of September 24th regular board meeting. Langley made the motion. Second by Jim Douglas. Any discussion? Good. All in favor? Aye. 4 ayes. Next one, we're going to hit number 5. Motion discussion to accept all reports of all departments: water, sewer, Velcor, highway, town clerk, dock control, youth, code zoning, supervisor report, court, website, JCO, and banking report. Need a motion and a second to accept them all into the.
I'll make that motion.
Mel made the motion.
I'll second.
Jim Langley second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All 4 ayes. Okay. Which I did forget, with us tonight, Dave, our dock control officer, Bob, our code guy, Jim, our town justice, Pam, our secretary, Mike, highway, Courtney, water sewer, and Diane, our town clerk. And Matt Will is running a little bit late because he has city on Thursday night. He's an attorney for the city of Plattsburgh.
The city?
Town, maybe town. One of the towns or city. On Thursday night, so he's running a little bit late, but if we get to agenda item number 8, which we probably will do before he gets here, I'm going to bump it down because he would like to be discussion of that if he gets here by the end. So we've decided if we get to that, which I think we will. Okay, number 6, community inputs. John Ryan.
Yeah, I was just wondering the status of the North Main Street project.
As of last week, Adele sent us updates. I talked to Jeff, and as of last week, they still have not approved that they would give Jeff, what's his name? With Northern Sand and Dirt. As of last week, they still haven't approved that they would let it go without the woman majority owned portion of it. And the problem, like Jeff was saying last week, is he found people down in Syracuse, Albany, but what the bid was, it doesn't warrant the money that comes up this, to come up this way, and he would lose money. So they're trying to still get it through Ian if they will get it approved, and as of this week, nothing yet. So
Did Adele get in touch with filing for?
they're trying to get the extension again. If they get the extension, then we'd be looking at, it could start next year, but we haven't got the extension as far as I know as of this week.
This would be the second extension.
Yes, it would be. Yeah. Yeah, so that's where that is, John, as of last week and this week.
Okay.
Anything else, John?
Nope.
Number 7, discussion of back truck repair update, Courtney.
I sent everybody an email. I assume you all got it. They did finally get back to me with a price to repair. It was a little over $7,000. There was a $6,000 difference between repair and complete replacement, so I gave them the go ahead and repair it. And that was just for the water pump side. The hydraulics, they're still troubleshooting to try to find out what's going on with the hydraulics, so I don't have a price on that yet. And not all the parts are in, so I don't have a timeline on when it'll be down.
Discussion more on that. Okay, so this is the number 8. I'm going to need a motion and a second to move it down. We actually move it down all the way to 12B, or 12A, I'm sorry. 12A, if that's okay. I need a motion and a second to do that.
I'll make it.
Douglas made the motion.
I'll second.
Mel second. Everyone in favor? Aye. Okay, so we're going to wait to see if Matt gets here by then. If not, I'm going to discuss the Courtney. Number 9, actually, it's Courtney, right anyways. I think everything on there is Courtney.
As you can see, New York Rural Water was doing a free energy assessment. It should be in your packets. I had them do the water plant, sewer plant. Not much for recommendations. The biggest one would be the sewer plant, to put variable frequency drives on our blowers. I'm sure that'll be addressed when we do the EPG assessment that we got the grant for. That was really the only recommendation they had. And the water plant was, they recommended switching out the propane-fired hot water tank for an instantaneous electric one. Other than that, they were pretty good assessments.
Anything else on that? No?
All right, unless anybody has any questions.
Questions?
And that was free, it didn't cost us anything to have that done.
Cool. Thanks. Number 10, discussions, Peru School Solar System Trail Project. Courtney's been working with the teachers and the students on the trail to get them signs finally up. And update.
The posts are all mounted after the second time, because we put them in the wrong spot the first time, but they're all mounted. I'm just waiting on getting the signs back. The school's gonna epoxy them so they would be a little more weather resistant. And then once that's up, hopefully next week, I get them back, so we can schedule your ribbon cutting.
The teachers like to schedule a couple weeks in advance so we can get people aware of it and stuff. So I'm definitely going to do it on a Saturday, 11, 12 o'clock on Saturdays. That'll be coming up probably in like 3 weeks from now total. So if everyone can make it, obviously we want everyone there, and residents and everyone else to make it. So, but once we know they're all up in place, then we're going to schedule it to make sure by at least 2 weeks in advance.
So that, I'm assuming it starts at Hayward Village, goes around.
Yeah, the sun will be at Hayworth right near the start of the trail where the little bulletin board is by the river, and then they're paced off. They scaled it in feet, not what it would be in miles, I think, or million miles.
So Pluto's over here, Jim Douglas.
Yeah. This end of the chair, trail.
Thank you.
You get Pluto.
Wow.
Yeah. They fine-tuned the signs. Courtney gave them a couple of advice on, weather-wise them a lot better than they were, and they were doing that last week.
Yeah, I'm supposed to do that, I think, this week. So hopefully I can come back next week when we can get that done.
Okay, number 11, discussion, employee handbook update. Hamco today can talk to the people that did our handbook, years ago. We haven't updated anything in over 3 years at least. We know we got the new tobacco-free thing that we're gonna get in place. We're having a meeting on Tuesday night and something happened with the death in the family of the lady from Glenn County. Not her, but somebody in the family. So she wasn't able to meet Tuesday night. She wants us to send a logo to her, and she's going to send a proof back to us to see if we like it. If anyone can think of a good logo that we would like on it, let me know. If not, me and Pam's going to come up with something. I think like our header that's on our statements and stuff. The logo for the tobacco-free. Yeah. So other than that, the update of it. Right around about $1,000 total, Pam. They will update
At the most.
the most. So,
But what it was before is we didn't have the highway union in it before, and there's more that's involved.
yeah, the tobacco-free.
Make sure that-
There's like 4 or 5 things that we would have to
Yeah.
update in there.
Make sure that they're in line and, that it's according to the union contract. So there's no issues further down the road.
The max would be $1,000 to do
That's
that.
also including the new anti-harassment policy and everything, because there's a lot of work that went into that, I guess, too, so.
Any discussion on that at all from anyone? said, we haven't done it in going on over 3 years, so it's obviously got a lot of new stuff and new policies and different things that need to go in there and have everyone sign it.
When we updated it in 2015, it wasn't really an update, it was just adding the, I think it was the tobacco free. They added the smoking, non-smoking, was in 2015, that was, so we haven't really updated it in longer than that.
Any other discussion? We're flying fast on this. Number 12, number 12, resolution discussion, AES Northeast Term Agreement. It's in your pamphlets. I need a motion and a second, and then we have Diane read the resolution, and then we have discussion if needed.
I'll make the motion for discussion.
Okay, motion for discussion, Jim Langley.
I'll second.
And second for Mel. So just, you want to read the resolution, or we want to have that discussion first? I don't care either way.
I'm hangers.
Good, so read the motion.
A resolution approving the town's annual term agreement for the AES project number 4154 with AES Northeast PLLC for engineering services and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board has the short form agreement between the town of Peru and AES Northeast for engineering services for the town before it now. Therefore be it resolved, said proposed agreement is approved and the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to execute said agreement. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any discussion at all?
Matt's looked at that, right?
Matt, Matt looked it all over, Kate sent us all an email back, and
Yeah.
he said everything looks fine.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Oh, well, number 12A. Pam, if you want to text Matt, just tell him, I mean, not to come, because it would make no sense if you don't mind. Gonna be recording, he's gonna have discussion on it. Matt wanted to be part of it unless he walks in when we're discussing it. Sewer collection project update, I know him and Courtney went over this and they spent time.
Thursday, Matt and I met with AES, with Brad and Brett Swart.
Maybe.
Saved by the bell.
Hopefully. Did that. Perfect.
You're up.
Right there.
Hold your applause.
You're up.
We got about a 10-minute meeting left if you're lucky. Or we skip down to 12A for you and Courtney. We're there right now. So we met Thursday
You can
night.
start.
I was just saying we met with the meeting.
Text, or we want that board.
We discussed the need for easements. I did spend a day going researching. I couldn't find anything. I believe you were the top to,
Yeah, it doesn't appear there's anything out there right now as far as easements go.
yeah, so.
And I think AES is gonna look at if we need them on Elm Street in the back, if they can go up and do it around the road. My thought is for the town to send out something soon to anybody that we may need one from and just start a discussion as to what we may need, timeframe, what it's gonna mean, because if we're going down the backside of Elm Street and we get 9 easements out of 10, then the whole project's kind of stuck. So I think we need to know what we're gonna get and when. And starting that sooner than later is gonna save an engineering cost and we're doing things down the road. So I don't know if a public discussion, send out a letter and say, we'll be here, the board and the AES will be here on Wednesday night at 6, and everybody that wants to come in and discuss it, the AES thought that was probably a good idea. Once we get a little bit closer, but I wouldn't wait too much longer than probably November, December, start doing that.
Yeah, we're getting to the point, stuff's gonna start moving along a little faster. Since that meeting, I did meet with Greg's work, we did walk Pleasant, or Elm Street. We're still not decided on staying in the backyard, going the front yard, we're looking at positives and negatives of both.
What do you think about the backs? I know he had some concerns.
It wasn't as bad as I thought. It doesn't look that bad, obviously. I prefer all our sewer lines and manholes not in backyards, so we're not going to people's yards, and they are harder to maintain. Depending on elevations, being out in the road might not be feasible.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a difference, gonna be a difference between upfront cost to put it in the road which would be higher now, but then maintenance costs down the road would be significantly less versus probably cheaper to put it in backyards now, but then every time you need to get there, you got more of a project to go through, so. They're gonna put together, I think we asked them to put together a price for both.
Yeah, he's gonna look at the elevations and see,
Okay.
and see what would work, because we even talked about doing both. If it can, the line in the backyard can be slip line, which would eliminate a lot of excavation. And just keep those houses right there on that, leave that one, and then do a new one around the front that would carry all the load coming down from Washington to LaFleur, Payne. And get that load right off it, because you'd be down to us, once you slip line, you're gonna be a little smaller diameter pipe. Greg's supposed to look those over. And there was a couple of homeowners that come out, I explained to them what we were doing, and that, and see how everybody feels about it.
Right, Bob handled it all.
Yeah, Dave, she's door to door.
The other option along with this project is, currently, we have the big lagoon down at the wastewater plant, which is considered a backup. And we have a 10-inch force main that goes all the way up to Brand Hollow Road. We've looked at the options of reusing that force main, because we don't really pump up there, we have for years. Using that force main backwards to save some excavation and stuff. I have talked to DEC, but in order to find out from them, I have to do I had to do a request to have that removed from our speedies permit. That would mean we can no longer use it anymore. I'm wondering if that's the right decision.
On the Elm Street thing, we still have 2 pump station, both options are still open at this point. Down below Elm,
We,
or
Ideally, we'd like to get it on Sanborn line. So that part of the easement thing, we're gonna have to approach that. I don't want it in the park down next to the river, and I don't think it can be because of the flood zone that comes up, so. In the end, Sanborn's gonna be the best location for it. We're talking, we're probably gonna we're gonna try to catch the old part of Peru, which would be McIntosh, Holden, Birchwood, and get that on gravity through Valhaven, and then only pump Elm Street, Pleasant Street, Washington, LaFleur, but we're looking now, we might pump it all. Because with the gravity option, we're looking at a sewer main that's gonna be probably 20 feet deep down North Main Street, or down North Bend. That's pretty deep for us to have to maintain.
that would give you
Not that I really like pump stations, but.
a 3rd pump station.
No, we would just be putting a bigger pumps.
That would bring in.
So we're hoping only to do 2, redo the existing maiden lane one, and then adding one big one. We're hoping that the houses by Dr. Lamar's, Gary Bertrand's apartments, we're hoping elevation will allow us to bring that gravity across the state road back to Elm Street to the new pump station. If it won't, then we will need a small pump station back here. And I believe our land deal is all finalized with Mr. Swain.
Yeah, we finished the paperwork, and just trying to keep deciding, we've got everything done, ready to go, put on record, so it's all buttoned up finally.
So do you guys want to set up a public hearing now or by next meeting or
Public information.
informational meeting?
Yeah, just, we'll coordinate the time the AES will be here, one of their engineers, send out a letter probably 2 weeks in advance. So I can be here to answer questions about what it is.
And I'll see if I can get them to print up that map bigger that they gave us, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe do a bigger scale of that.
Do they need time to go out and do their surveying before this meeting?
I can ask Greg. I mean, it would be good to know if we're going front, back, or both. That probably would be good for them to know. And we're hoping he figures that out before we start surveying.
That way you know if you're gonna get any pushback from the residents.
Yeah, and that would be.
So like I said, if we have a string that we need 10, we only get 8, we might as well have enough. So I would say we talk to AES between now and the next meeting, get a couple of dates that work for them, and then at the next meeting, we'll set a time for that informational session, and we'll send out letters after that. We do it before holiday craziness starts.
Our next meeting's only a week and a day away, so 22nd. We have set the date, then.
Maybe we can aim for that first full week in November. See if they can do something the week of November 5th, after Halloween, before it's too much.
Just don't do it Wednesday night because I believe that's it's like our final budget meeting, I believe. What about November, is that the final?
It's November 8th, maybe? 7th?
7th, yeah, so don't do it November 7th.
Yeah, the seventh.
That's the final, so we don't want to do it that way.
Do a meeting, or the 6th is election day, I don't know if you really wanna do an
Do
election
an
day.
informational hour next weekend.
Probably a Thursday then,
Yeah.
maybe.
We could, or we could, or I mean, the worst case scenario, we'd do something before our next town board meeting, which is November 12th after that.
Probably a better idea.
I mean, that way we're all here, and it's not having, another meeting if nobody comes.
6 o'clock that
Shoot for the same night.
Shoot for November, if they can, if AES can, shoot for November 12th at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Cody said he could buy pizza, so that's good too.
Well, he's doing it next week too, so.
Oh, right.
Okay. So let's shoot for that. I mean, if AES can't, obviously, then we change it for that week before, but not Wednesday.
Okay.
Good. Just double our meeting time.
Sorry.
Number 13, other discussion already. Jim.
Good.
Dan. Matt. Nothing, thanks. Jim.
Just, we briefly discussed the small change at the schoolhouse.
Yeah. Yep.
We're all fine with that?
We're all good with it.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, no, that's it for me.
Okay. Now, if you think of someone, we can come back to.
And Bob, were you able to make any phone calls on the item that we discussed last night?
Yep. I didn't know, I didn't think it was, we were gonna
No,
discuss
that's
it.
to discuss it.
No.
I was just curious.
Yes, it was already.
If you tell
I made-
Randy later, he'll disperse it to us.
Yeah, I did,
He did this before our meeting.
Oh, he did,
Yeah.
huh? Okay.
Yeah, I already,
All did. Courtney,
Where do you want me to be?
you have the whole agenda, so. You want more?
Bear Swamp, we're almost done, we just gotta pour the cement on the base. That first station will be complete. Valcor, we have it all excavated. I don't know if we'll do it next week, maybe the week after, I'll schedule that, I still gotta get some parts, and we'll be gutting that whole wet well, replacing the pumps, the control panel, and draining it, but we'll get it done. I think I told everybody last night about our new requirements for our speedies permit for the water plant. Probably gonna have $13,000 in increased testing. Some of it we could do in-house when we pull the samples. There's a series that's gonna have to go to the lab, that's probably gonna cost me an extra $70 a month, and then they want us to do a wet test, which is a toxicity test on the vertebrate and invertebrate of the receiving stream from our chemicals that we backwash and stuff. So that's $3,000 a test per quarter. So hopefully it's only the 1 year we have to do it. And I guess that's it.
That's enough.
Mike, we didn't have a budget meeting on your birthday, but we had a town board meeting.
Last year we did have.
I know. But happy birthday.
No big deal. It's another day. We paved Valpor Heights yesterday. We got to put shoulders on it. We seem to be getting all the rain the last 3 weeks. We're trying to button everything up. So that was an extra. I still got a little money left. I may try to sneak another plan in, another road in, but the parts did that we were waiting for the screening plant to do the millings for Liberty Road came in yesterday. So we're going to put that back together and then turn Lloyd loose. They'll screen in that, and then we had boxed the road out. If anybody's been down there, just from the turnaround to up to the Mr. Ashley's driveway, because I didn't have material to backfill it with. But once it gets screened in, then we'll take that on and wrap that up. The other issue we had was over at Orchard View, which is up in Washington Extension. Met with Bob several times, and Courtney, and tried to wrap her head around, and I went over, and we had the gravel out 25 foot of spot. He did a beautiful job. But come to paving, he was gonna do 20 feet, and I was adamant that it had to have paved shoulders. And then Courtney and I talked, he thought we just did it in a verbal meeting, but I had nothing to hold him to it. Then in the meantime, I inspected the sidewalk, that was 4 foot, and I was positive it was supposed to be 5, but I had nothing in writing to prove it. Well, what happened is when Simon did the change, not to put blame, they wiped my computer out, everything. So I couldn't find anything. We went over, met with Bob and Darlene. In his defense, he wasn't here, that was the part-time Coles, which was Steve, and a part-time secretary for that office at the time. Couldn't find nothing, found just the project would be approved with the Courtney's and my recommendations, but it didn't say what it was. So we had nothing to hold it. So I couldn't stop Bill. So just, we're gonna have to deal with it. Had nothing on the sidewalk. We were paving yesterday. Darlene called me. She was erasing some emails, and it popped up. And right there was a letter right from me, 5 foot sidewalk, paved shoulders, the whole 9 yards. Road's been paved if anybody's been over there. So there's not, to be honest with you, there's not a lot we can do. I could have Bill dig the shoulders back up because he's got them on, the ones that does. But there's nothing, without that being the binder under it, it's just gonna snap off. Point blank, the sidewalk is in. In the meantime, I had talked to Bob about, and he'll probably approach the board, or we both will. From now on, any subdivision will have paved shoulders, and if there's any sidewalk, they will be 5 foot. It's easier to plow. We're set up for 5 foot. You get narrower, and it just takes lawns up. So, it's.
You know, Mark, I have a question. If you sent that letter, and and maybe you couldn't find your copy right away, but you found it now, they still have
that copy.
They
Well,
have to have.
mine was to the planning board, and that was the problem, because the only reason I got involved in this, because this was all done pre, but they never filed their plan with the county from our, right, Bob, so they had to come back. If I'm stating that
So you
right.
had we have 4 phases. So
So
he's
he
not,
still came to the planning board at one time, they knew
he
it.
did, and the plans do show the sidewalks as 4 foot.
Well, me personally, I'm sorry, but I think they need to do what the letter said. Because they had to have known, and they didn't provide it to you, they thought, well, we're gonna be fine.
Wait a minute, your letter went to the planning board.
Yeah, because the only reason, like I said, I got involved, because this was all before me, was they never filed their plan to get it approved. And then, when they went to get approved, that was through Bob then, which, this was all done.
They changed, no, what happened was phase 2, which
Well,
they're
even
working on.
when Steve was here, I was attending those.
Yeah,
meetings.
so they added 3 lots into phase 2,
Yeah.
which is, you know, brought it from 10 to 13 lots, which they're working on now, right? So, those plans were already approved by the planning board. And Dean Lashway came and just said, hey, they just want to take 3 lots from phase 3 and put into phase 2, so they built the hill over it.
Mhm.
And that's, but the other stuff was prior to when I started. The plans do show 4 foot, I mean.
Yeah,
But
well,
I
those periods,
I
they were
understand.
here at every meeting,
Yeah, so,
changing this and changing that, so.
What the planning board approved, a 4 foot or a 5 foot?
4 foot, it's in the plans, 4 foot. Because I talked to Andy Adele's office, and we had a discussion, and I know there's some question that it has to meet the American Disabilities Act. It actually doesn't, and Andy gave me the language that specifies that it doesn't. But I understand Mike's point, you know, so obviously there's a misstep somewhere, whether his letter was not addressed to the planning board, because, I mean, I think this board understands that they have to take Mike's professionalism and understand for that road to be dedicated to the town, they gotta take what he wants and what, So, yeah, and certainly the planning board should have, but how that occurred, I mean, it happened before I started, I don't know.
Again, my point is they knew all along.
That the developer did?
Yeah,
Okay,
they had to,
okay,
because
yeah, and
Mike's letter popped up, it didn't just.
right, right.
Yeah, it was,
They-
Yeah, I
it
mean,
was
the other thing,
2016.
the other, okay, so the other thing is, obviously, we can look at the dates at which Richard Williams, or whoever was the planning board chairman, signed those plans and said, you know, to know what, did Mike's letter occur before that, and then did they just go ahead and just, and that should not, yeah, I understand.
Because he's gonna have to deal with it afterwards, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
he,
so-
when he knew ahead of time that that's what it was gonna be.
So-
They had a recommendation,
Mhm.
they had the letter,
Mhm.
maybe he couldn't find it right away, but he's got it now, and he knows it exists, he didn't dream it. They had it. Their email didn't disappear with his, so.
Yeah.
Matt, I mean,
I'm still confused by who got the letter. Your letter went to the planning board, not to the project, right?
Right.
So it's an issue with what the planning board approved. So the project never got a letter saying you have
It
to have
said
5 foot
subject
sidewalks.
to his recommendation.
Yeah, mine and Courtney's. We both had it.
But that went to the planning board, not to the project.
He got it, subject to the planning board meeting. He got it ahead of time. He knew about it, that it was gonna go, that it was gonna be at the planning board, his recommendation.
The developer did.
The developer did, sure,
How?
because he sent it.
you sent it to the.
Do we know?
Doesn't mean anything.
They came here.
Right. His
Meaningless.
letter went just to the planning
How do
board.
they know
That's
they
it.
got it?
Nobody else. But your letter didn't also get copied to the developer, it went just to the planning board.
Yeah, but I mean, he knows what's on the agenda, he knows what he's gonna have to do.
Yeah. And it won't be this year or next year, it's gonna split.
Mine's gonna have the same seam as your shoulder.
Yeah, see, if that binder would have been out like it was supposed to be, then you got the binder on it, it's all one piece. And that's what I'm concerned about. If we go back now, it's gonna snap. It's,
And what about the sidewalk? How much length is there?
well, he's all the way up to the top of the hill.
13 months.
And the turnaround is too short. I caught that, and he was gonna fix that.
Yeah,
Truck's a 36 foot with a plow gear on it, and it's 17 feet. That's, you got all you do to turn a pickup around, you know.
I think we should look at that though, that road. Once you accept that road, like you said, in 2-3 years, then it's gonna cost the
That's
town.
gonna cost the town.
And I hate to, you know,
Brand new
but
road.
I know it's the
Yeah.
developer, and but the thing of it is once you got it, it's our road.
Can I say that we should, I mean, his engineer was Andy Adele's from TEDA. I think they should be involved in a discussion too.
Do we have a copy of the plans that the planning board said, okay?
Yeah.
Can you give me a copy of those? And maybe whatever the meeting minutes of the meeting when that was approved?
Okay.
So the planning board's final approval is for a 4-foot sidewalk.
Yeah. Did we mention the one on Washington Street? What's that?
That's four.
That's 4.
It's 4 in front of my
That was before.
Okay, yep.
But
What got me off, if you do a 4-foot sidewalk, the squares are 4x4.
Right.
When I went up there,
He's
it's
5.
4 foot, but their squares are 4x5.
4x5s.
Tells me it should be 5x5. That's realistically, that's the way you do it. But they didn't. The only way really to fix the blacktop would be to dig that out, put your binder up all the way to the top, and overlay it with an inch. That would solve it. It's not a big cost, it's
Which
got a pain in the rear end, obviously.
Could be done this year.
And that would,
Yeah. Well, the plant closes when?
well, I don't know who they're getting, if they're getting, Upstone or they're getting,
Oh.
the one, the new one. I don't know where we're getting it, they're talking Thanksgiving.
Oh.
You may want to reach out to these guys soon and just say, we got a concern, we want to set up a meeting as soon as possible, so they can't say we waited to the last minute before they have a plan posted for the year. So if you can give me that info, those plans, and we can reach out to them tomorrow or Monday and set something up for next week.
All right.
Just put them on notice, that's not a bad idea.
That's all I got.
was enough.
That was enough. Bob?
My turn, okay. I know Randy received a letter from Attorney Dean Sneller.
Yep.
So we have some costs that are incurred, $1,960. Left in my attorney expense is certainly not gonna cover that, so it needs to be, I spoke to Judy today, and also Pam. We're gonna have to do a transfer of, which one did you say it was from?
Just break it up, but are you going to, you would have enough to cover if you took all your expense,
Okay.
equipment lines, but it's gonna, like, like that. Make you mad if you discount.
I usually do.
Make you mad if you discount on
Was that for that one
services.
matter?
So I just wanted to work you aware of that, so maybe we haven't submitted we haven't finalized the other budget.
Well, I mean,
This year's budget, so I mean, I think,
It'll have nothing to do with next year. This year.
no, I understand, but maybe we can jump that a little bit, I don't know, just I know, this was here as an exception case. Other than that, busy, just very busy, a lot of mess.
Anything else?
That's it, thanks.
Pam?
Just
Talk
the
about it.
harassment.
Talk about it.
So New York State came out with their final review, non-discrimination and harassment policy. And in their infinite wisdom, they had discussed it originally April 12th in 2018, but they signed it into, or it will be signed into law in 2019, but they said that it has to be implemented by everybody by October 9th of 2018. So we just got it today.
You got it. I'll
New
fit
York
that.
State finished their mandates and how it's supposed to be written on October 1st of 2018. So we've had 8 days for our public sector, HR public sector handbook people. And they've given us what is covered and actually exceeds what New York State is looking for. And we did a resolution and a copy of the new non-discrimination and harassment policy that we should approve tonight, and then all of the employees, and which includes everybody in the town, including all the elected officials, everybody has to sign off that they've received it, they're aware of it, and get us the signed acknowledgement back as soon as possible. And that has to be done by January, I believe January 2019, but since we have it and we're already late in getting it from New York State, I figured the best thing to do is to get it done tonight. Everybody's got a copy of it.
Yep. Yeah. So we just got a copy of it today, and the deadline, the date was,
October 9th.
yep, October 9th. October 9th. So do you guys want discussion, or do you want to make a motion second to pass the resolution?
Motion to pass the resolution.
Okay. Jim made the motion, Langley, second by Jim Douglas. Diane, I will have you read the resolution.
Whereas the town of Peru currently has a non-discrimination and harassment, including sexual harassment, and the workplace policy set forth in the town's employee handbook, and whereas on April 12th, 2018, Governor Andrew Cuomo created the New York State Prevention of Sexual Harassment Law as part of signing into law the 2019 New York State budget. And whereas the new Prevention of Sexual Harassment Law mandates that all New York State employers, including the town, adopt a policy that meets the specific minimum standards established by that law, and whereas the Public Sector HR Consultants LLC has prepared an amended non-discrimination and harassment, including sexual harassment, in the workplace that meets those minimum standards. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board officially adopts the amended policy as attached hereto and will incorporate said policy into the town employee handbook.
Any discussion?
I thought Pam had a good idea, that would work, because if Bonnie could come like a half hour or so before, you know, like when we had a meeting or something, you know, and then we could,
Absolutely.
Mel was already, you attended,
But
right?
Tish has said too, they also offer free training too.
Right.
Yeah, online.
Online.
Either way, we'll figure that out shortly.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, all 4 yeses, that is done. Thank you, Pam. Done today. Anything else, Pam? Jim? Nothing? Okay, Dave?
Nothing I could explain without reverting back to my old Navy days, so we'll just leave it alone.
Oh, God.
I
Okay.
do have one thing I forgot to mention.
Okay.
Just so you guys know, I will be out of town Thursday and Friday next week to Sweeney Morrisville for another class on my waste one.
Next week? Okay, anyone else? Or other business? Good. Okay, number 14, we move on to public comments on agenda items only.
Got a couple questions. The AES contract, what was that for? Just a number that you stated, and what was the dollar amount?
It's,
There was not a dollar.
there's no dollar amount. It's just, yeah.
What is it, though?
It's a contract for technical assistance if I need help at the water plant, or like when the lift station went down, I needed their assistance to size pumps.
Okay.
They
The
started,
renewal of last year's agreement, we've had
Yeah.
for a couple of years now.
Non-project specific.
Right. Just
Okay.
everyday support.
And there's a small change in the schoolhouse work or something? Jim said there was something he discussed with you, something small change?
yes, schoolhouse has, Ron wanted to do a couple extra things over there, right? I believe. That would,
The original bill of 7,500 was gonna be 8,500.
so it's gonna be $1,000
Okay.
more at the schoolhouse.
That comes out of his budget, or?
That will come out of his budget, absolutely. Yep.
What else additional is he doing? Are you doing some work? in-
Well, he did, as you
He's
walk in
gone
the
above
building.
and beyond
Yeah.
what the scope
Yeah.
work was.
Yeah, there was a little bit
He
more.
replaced the crown moldings, he
Yep.
did all the edges, he did
Done some flooring.
PVC
We
corners.
did flooring as you walked in, it was,
The wall
it
sill
was all
plate
rotted
part.
out, which we did not know about, the floor when we walked in, and we did all that. But Jim's saying there was crown molding, the windows were all broken that he replaced. He did a wonderful job.
Replaced the frame around the round window, that was no easy feat for, well, he's,
So there's $1,000 more than what the original bid was. Ron does have it in his budget, but it was extra that, obviously, when you start tearing into an old building and the windows and stuff like that, that he didn't, you know.
Well, he showed that to me when I went there, and I started wondering, I said, I don't recall that being discussed.
No, it wasn't, no, no.
Okay,
Him and
Bob,
Him and Ron talked about it.
Bob mentioned an attorney fee higher than expected. What was that about?
That was the case with,
We had a case for violation on the Twin Creek Drive for, I can't say the name.
Yeah, the public.
Julio Limos constructed a retaining wall without a permit. So we pursued it, and Judge Cabana dismissed the case based on There was a litany of reasons, but it was dismissed.
He
We
dismissed.
we have a right to appeal. I actually have not spoken to the board yet, I mean, concerning that.
Hmm. Okay, so it cost us a total of $1960, was that it?
Yeah, we could not,
The reason wasn't,
we could not retain Matt as an attorney because conflict of interest, where his dad, Kerry Favreau, was represented by Mr. Lemos.
And the thing is, John, this happened before Bob was even
Yeah, it was
even involved.
retaining wall was constructed, John, and that prior to my employment with the town, and I was made aware of it shortly after I started playing the adjoining landowner, and we started the process. And 2 years later-
fuzzy gray areas, but stuff wasn't written down.
Right.
Okay, I guess the next logical question is the problem with the sidewalks and shoulder. Could that happen apparently, how long ago? The original plans were several years ago, right? Or
Actually,
could that happen again? Are we getting
John,
getting lousy plans like that today?
those plans were approved by the planning board, I believe, in like '05 or something.
Right.
It was a long time ago.
Have our standards been upgraded? Would we, you mentioned, or Mike mentioned he had a little sheet of paper in front of him. Would he get that today if somebody wanted to do that?
No, certainly not, no.
For one thing, I think we've got somebody on zoning, and certainly it's brought it up to a better level than we were in the past.
Is it in, I mean, it seems like there ought to be something in writing to insist that they do this, not left to the judgment of the zoning officer, but.
Right, well, so what, John, the easy way to answer that is that when we receive a subdivision application where a road is going to be dedicated to town, certainly Mike has to approve that road. The planning board understands that. I certainly understand that. Anybody in that office understands that now. So I mean that, and we'll get Mike will get a set of plans that he's comfortable with, and then we'll get a letter from him saying yes, and then he's going to go to the town board after it's constructed and say, hey, town board, I'm good with the road. Here we are.
Well, that brings up another point. Why can't the contractors be requested to notify Mike and you when they start their work? That was a major project and you apparently didn't even know about it.
No.
I mean, the work was ongoing. You didn't.
Warren Street driveway because of the steepness. To get the water, to get over, it had to go into the ditch. It is kind of banked, and it is actually banked the opposite way it should be. But to get the water to go where it should, because I didn't want that water going out on Mannix Road, because that already gets overwhelmed at the bottom of Mannix and Washington. You know, with the runoff from the orchard and stuff, and not picking on the orchard. It's just, that can't handle it. You can't put a bigger culvert because it's maxed out now, and the county's already changed it for us.
So where's that road, that water going to go? We had a big.
I'm just going to, if I can, explain it. So when you're traveling up that new road, Washington, I guess, I don't know if they're going to call it still Washington Street, I'm not sure.
No,
Isn't
that's
that
for me.
Okay, all right, so when you travel up there, everything to the right, going up the hill, is going in that retention basin. Everything to the left is actually going to infiltrate the wetland area that is off to the left. Not the basin, but there's an area that they want. So it's kind of deceiving. So it's piped down, everything on the right, going up the hill, it's piped down, coming in, and it crosses, and it runs into that retention basin. I think initially, if you recall, Brandon, we all looked at it, it was, oh man, all of it's going to go to that retention basin, and it's going to be, that's not the case. Everything to the right, again, goes to the retention basin. What's to the left going uphill is going to be going into the wetland area that's in the back. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, we had.
They do have check dams there now and stuff, so it's all going to run over to the left to that wetland area.
Because before they got it done, we went over Daley's old house.
Right.
That was almost up to their house.
Right.
But
Right.
everything wasn't done there.
That's right.
Everything was going there.
Right.
And we made a couple of changes. So
Right.
you can go a couple of ways and
Right.
absorb some of that.
Yeah.
Because we got a big rainstorm right when he was doing it there.
Yeah.
Or 2 inches. I think it was almost 2 inches. Yeah.
Yeah, and the pond, I mean, I'm over there pretty frequent, and it's not, certainly not full now.
No, because we went over, it was a heavy rain, because we wanted to see the pond.
Yeah,
It was doing what it was supposed to.
yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, I got it, I think.
Anyone else? Okay, need a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. John Langley made the motion.
I'll second.
John second. All in favor? Aye. Adjourned.